Greetings, everyone, and a very warm welcome to another edition of Marketing the Invisible. I'm Tom Poland, beaming out to you as always from the very sunny Sunshine Coast in Australia, joined today by Courtney Elmer. And Courtney, you're in the deep south somewhere, is that right?
I am. I am based in New Orleans.
New Orleans, fantastic. Yeah, a lot of a rich history of diversity and kind of like Party Central for the South, I believe.
Yes, that's accurate.
Lots of eateries and beautiful little nooks and crannies, and I now have a reason to go there because I've got a son who's just bought a property there. So,
Yeah.
Courtney, welcome to the show. Back spotlight off me and off New Orleans and onto you. Courtney's the founder of Effortless Life, and you just gotta love that brand name. It just pops out because it's a highly desirable situation. The Effortless Life. She helps online experts increase traffic and sales. Who doesn't want that? While enhancing their reputation, very important that that's built at the same time in tandem, as respected thought leaders in their niche. And we're going to find out about Courtney's superpower in a tickety-boo. The title is How to Leverage Your Podcast to Create a Lead Generation Machine. Very interesting. Courtney, our time is going to start now. Question number one is, who would you say your ideal client is?
Yes. Well, Tom, thanks for having me. We work primarily with 6- and 7-figure coaches, consultants, speakers, authors who want to elevate their thought leadership and become the go-to expert in their niche. So these are people who typically have a proven offer. They have a clear message. They
Right.
know who they want to serve and why, but they're looking to expand that message to a broader audience.
Gotcha. Thank you. Very succinct and well articulated, quite focused. Well, what would you say is so we're talking about growth-oriented individuals. I mean, they're coaches themselves, so they believe in probably personal development, business development. What would you say is the problem you solve for them?
One of the biggest problems that we solve, there are many, but one of them is the feeling of having a wealth of info to share. Lots of knowledge,
Mm,
lots of insight that could help people, but struggling to package that into short form content that
mhm.
can really make a difference in a 250-word Instagram caption or a 15-second video.
Right.
And lately, it feels like our content needs to be shorter and shorter to get people's attention. So you might try to post more frequently, but nothing changes. And it can be very frustrating when you're trying to grow your business. So what we
Right.
do is we help people create leverage within their marketing via a podcast that drives leads and sales while expanding their thought leadership.
That's a great way to put it. I'm going to ask you about the symptoms, that what's going on in these people's lives or businesses in a second. But I imagine one of them would be if they're having a cup of coffee with a prospect, a qualified prospect, and it's a 40-minute conversation back and forth, probably going to convert 70, 80, 90% of those situations. But online, the attention span is kind of different. So you're helping to distill the value proposition and get cut through and motivate their prospects to want to know more. What would you say are some of the other typical symptoms of your ideal clients before they engage with your services?
Yes. So one of the things that I hear from people all the time is I am so burnt out from having to create and post 3 to 4 times a week,
Mm,
consistently come up with new content ideas that barely drive sales because as soon as you post, that content gets buried in the newsfeed within a 24-hour cycle or less. And maybe you're listening to podcasts on a weekly basis. You're trying to figure out the secrets to grow your audience, generate leads consistently, but haven't considered a podcast as a marketing strategy for yourself. Or maybe you've even bought the gear and it's sitting in a closet.
mm.
You haven't recorded an episode because you're not really sure where to start. And so some of these symptoms, they can permeate our business and really bog us down when we are trying to get visible, trying to market, trying to stay top of mind and relevant with our community, and can be a point of frustration for so many business owners.
And yet, I mean, I understand why the gear's sometimes sitting in the hallway cupboard still, but the closet. But you get so much leverage and so much scale with podcasts. So let's real quick, a couple of other mistakes apart from leaving the gear in the closet. What would you say are some of the mistakes that these folks are making before they find your solution? That's question 4.
Yes. So right now, they're likely looking for quick solutions to generate leads, to grow their following,
Right.
but
Right.
they haven't yet learned how to create long term stability and leverage in their marketing. So what this might look like is they're following trends. They're doing reels. They're trying to build a presence on LinkedIn. They're trying to build a presence on Twitter and all of these platforms without all of these platforms working together as one cohesive whole.
Right.
And they're really unsure what their audience wants to hear from them. So they're relying on trends and unoriginal content versus sharing their own ideas that positions them as the thought leader in their niche. And then the bottom line of it, Tom, really is just relying too heavily on short form content to grow their audience to begin with. You can only get so far with a 15-second video. You can't expect to build trust, drive engagement, and educate someone on what you do and why they should do it, right? All in 15 seconds. It just takes a lot of content in order to achieve that.
Yeah. At some point, you've got to get from the speed date to the dinner out in the town, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right. Thanks. That's a good list. People will be able to relate to that and find a lot of solutions with those mistakes by stop doing them. Question 5, let's flip it. I'm after a top tip here. We've got 2 minutes, 20 seconds left. What's one step that someone listening to this could go, Courtney, you've nailed it. You've been like pardon the expression, but a fly on the wall of my business. You know what's going on. How do I move forward? What's one step? Not going to solve the whole problem, but it might just take me in the right direction.
Yes, I would say bottom line, you need to develop a long form content strategy. For us, we do that via a podcast, but long form content. So this would be a book, a blog, growing an email list where you publish longer form content on a regular basis, or a podcast. For me, I'm all about leveraging my time. Books and blogs take a lot of time. They're great. They can be great tools, but they're very time intensive. Podcasting, I'll be honest with you, it takes some time, but less than a book and a blog. And so for me, the way my brain works, let me leverage a podcast to grow my email list, feed 2 birds out of one hand, and create leverage within my marketing strategy, where the podcast becomes the source of all the other content I create.
I saw what you did there. Feed 2 birds with one hand. Much better than killing 2 birds with one stone. I like that.
Right? I want to kill. Who wants to kill birds?
Exactly. I've always felt bad when I've said that. It's popped out of my mouth. And the other thing that I think often people overlook with podcasts is, in addition to the ability to scale and et cetera, you establish a relationship with an influencer. In this case, we're doing it right now in less than 10 minutes. So, and that's potentially more valuable than the listenership. I better move on. It's your podcast, not mine. Your interview, not mine. One valuable free resource. We've only got 35 seconds left. Real quick, where do people go to find out more about your stuff?
Yes, the best place is theeffortlesslife.co/podcast workshop. I teach regular workshops that are pure value, no pitch, on how to launch an Apple Top 100 podcast.
Fantastic. So that's theeffortlesslife.co/podcast workshop. 10 seconds left. I'm going to pause things because I run you a little short of time by gobbling on myself. What's the one question I should have asked you but didn't?
How about what is my podcast about?
What is your podcast about, Courtney?
Yeah, so my podcast is called AntiFragile Entrepreneurship. And on the show, we explore how to navigate the ups and downs of growing a business as an entrepreneur.
Where can people find that while we're here?
Anywhere you listen to podcasts. So whatever app you're listening to right now, wherever you're watching, search it, you'll be able to see it.
Search for Anti-Fragile Entrepreneurship. Lovely.
Yes.
Courtney Elmer, thank you so much for your time and your insights. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks for checking out our Marketing the Invisible podcast. If you like what we're doing here, please head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate us, and leave us a review. It's very much appreciated. And if you want to generate 5 fresh leads in just 5 hours, then check out www.5hourchallenge.com.